refresh. There's my ugly face. Hello. I'm back. How strange. First time OBS does that to me. Yeah, poor you. Well, I'm on Linux, so there's only so much that can go wrong, and if a reset does or a reboot don't fix it, then you got trouble. But we have been having outages with our internet. I was lucky that on Saturday night they waited until it waited. But really, I was surprised because after my stream, my internet was gone until yesterday evening. And it was so messed up that the systems didn't even deduct my payment. Thank you very much. Apologies, drama. At least I got the kettle on. I think my PC was up and running before my router was back on. I love Linux and solid state drives. I did like I did last night. I played exceptionally well until that last match before the second chest. But I finally got it and I got the second chest and then the internet died. Let me just check my claim this side. My Bitcoin claim. Faucet. How was your day so far? Are you going to work shortly? I assume so. Is this your daily reboot of your system? The crow. Fine. That's funny. That is funny because I won 2 in a row. Really. That was me last night. But last night was also because my narc of a mother came and derailed me. Music. Christmas lo-fi? Why you sing so loud? Oh, maybe I should enter. Let's hope the next 5 wins aren't so bad. It into my drawing time last night. Armored up. Salt water mage. Taking the armor. What can I help? Magic. Let's see which magic ooze book. Oh no, I see a spellmonger. Funny how that little spellmonger can throw the whole match off with your monk. No pain, no gain. All have by forge. When damaged or by poison or burning. All have sneak. All have sneak. Hey, crypto gamer, how are you? I'm alright, thanks for asking. As well as can be while I'm getting my butt kicked. I feel like I belong. Probably. So stop dragging, click the stop. Pretty evenly matched this C. Yes, the nose out of the way. Thank God. When it's against me. Cancel. Let's view. Ooh, to adjacent. I got back into it after Rukian Farfellow told me that there is a campaign you can do now. And it basically functioned like a tutorial that actually got me back into the game, and now I sort of get it. I'm actually, my cards are leveling up, and I am in silver, which never really used to happen. I hit gold 3 last season. Cannot be directly targeted unless you first. You're spoiling me. I don't know how to use them yet, Muffin. If you have the spell book, I think it's worth looking at, giving it another look. Thank you very much. Now I must learn how to use it. Go try the campaign, it's actually fun. But our cards from back then we can't use them in the Frontier, which is probably fair for the new players. But there's now Frontier, Modern, Wild, and Survival, and the land games on, which I would suggest you follow Trucker and check his out, because I know nothing about the land game. So I should probably play. Lost legendaries, no legendary. You can summon a maximum of 4. Do you play? Of those? Those? Ooh. Relatively. What are you gonna use the salt water maybe? Oh, legendary gone! I forgot. Three armor, 2 armor, 5 health, 6 health. So whatever lacks in one, the other one's better at both are. This focuses. Daunting is no. Find water with it. There are times I look like I know what I'm doing. Cancel. I'll be back. I just have to go give her copy to her. And parental care duties are done. I'm off. My shift's over. Oh, come on in. Let's But those cards I can't play in these frontiers. Do the frontiers get to a point where you can play others? Ooh, no armor. Don't use stones. Don't use stones. Don't use stones. Don't use stones. Luca. Oh, it's 24. You heal too. I thought, I should have used the tree. I pulled that one last time. I am enjoying the frontier. The one I'm the least bad at. All units have deflect. That doesn't mean it returns. Okay. Okay. You are gonna. Oh, saltwater maze. I'm done. Unless. Can't use nature. Because that Scale Weaver, magic against magic, I'm screwed either way. Because my best is the saltwater mage. You see, look at his health. Oh. At least you didn't whip out a Skullmonger. So my Vengeful Monk might get somewhere. Come on, you're supposed to be resistant to magic. What level are they? Yes! Keep telling everyone else. Yes, Druma. No argument there. Even I got up by that. I don't really know which cards are which. Never really paid that much attention. Oh, okay, you don't. Maybe I can. Use you as a tank, you as a tank. Damage bomb. No, wrong one. Highest damage I can muster. No. Yep, it worked as a tutorial for me. That's how I see it. It explained which how magic should be in front of the range, because the range can't always fire from the first position where the magic still can, and things like that. Nobody ever really explained it as thoroughly. And basically, even though we might have had streamers who try to show us, we don't have those cards, we can't practice and experience it the same way. Whereas with the campaign, it starts with just giving you the tank, and it works your way up, and then each one you do, you unlock more cards for the frontier. It made me stick with it. You can see I'm on you every day now. It created another monster. I'm actually getting cards to blend to level them up, so it feels like progress. Oh, what are my... It's... Even... Oh, crap. Oh! It said no, like it was no rain. You using your Hive username to log in, eh? I don't mean to make it sound as dumb a question as it is, but I've done worse. Could be pop-up blocker. I know that lately, out of the blue, my Brave browser does not like working with my Hive keychain, so I've switched to doing Hive on my Opera browser. The campaign helped me so much that even if I use all my energy, even my alt campaign or my alt account, it's in silver too with me. Even if that one's made progress, and I do not help that one. I actually screw my alt account over because all the gold foils and legendaries I don't have on my main are delegated from him to this one. Hello, tree frog. That I can still handle. It's when the browser thinks it can, when it wants to, when everything else used to work on MetaMask, and then suddenly one of your other browsers thinks, or crypto wallets thinks it's the main one, and you have to tell it to stop. Did I just get the third prize? They go to the lobby. Oh yes, saw that. Thank you for my card again. Cards. I still have 17 energy for tomorrow. I'm doing better. Considering that I wasn't at 50 when I started, and I'm not under 10. Oh, do a little shimmy and a shake before you open. That only happens on my alt account, funnily enough. He gets all the legendaries. Ah. You forgot that it's on Hive. Well, I signed up on Hive through ECNC before I discovered Splinterlands, and I hadn't yet registered that your Verumen was Verumen on anything. Even if I had not joined the platform, I can join by just signing up as Verumen. And then I discovered Splinterlands, and I can't remember whose referral I used, but I was so upset. I don't even know if Drumar can remember, because he was here, and I was swearing at. I thought, oh, okay, let's create the username Verumen, and then suddenly it tells me it's taken, and I'm thinking, mother fluffer, how? This is blockchain, so I don't run into many Verumens anywhere, on Twitter and other places, sure. So then I was forced to create Verumen V and got my first spell book on here, and then I discovered that, oh, okay, Verumen was me all along. And then I just eventually, one of the other games gave me the $10. I didn't know what to do with, and I got the spell book on my Verumen as well, and that's now my alt. I was pissing myself off as usual, even on Hive. I don't know. I think 1,000 SPS is like $7, if I remember correctly, from what Muffin Trucker was saying the other day on his stream. Wow. Never thought of it that way. I think that's how I might have discovered it was me, was looking for the idiot who stole my name that I wanted to use on Splinterlands. Level 2s, I've got many level 2s now, and a couple of 3s, which is nice. I'm only used to seeing higher levels on other people's streams, not mine. Level 3. Thank you very much for the chat and hanging around after my technical difficulties. Have a good shift. Much love. Oh, that one's gonna catch me out if I navigated what summoners. There's a little payback for all the cards I'm using. I battled to maintain one account at the best of times, and I gave myself 2 Hive accounts. The campaign should have been the first thing released on Splinterlands, and would have been further along. No, I don't know what to do with the glint. Because after the first 5, 200 merits, that's 200. Goes up to 3 for the next couple. With 2,000 merits, you buy a Gladius. Can't use. Oh, now you do sometimes get Gladiators. You are allowed to use Gladiator. I don't know. Or it's the minor chest for 500. I can buy 6, but that's one. Let them eat. I hope so. I know what to do with my glue. I don't know what the skins are. I know what skins are in general. I just don't know what they do that makes them worth buying and selling off. As one of you, I'm But when last did I raid any? Oh. Just quickly wanna go and make my classroom switch to wipe off my droid tablet with. Oh, my brain's melting. I heard some of a TV show. Retail's been around 25 years and so many people still don't know. Hey. Can't still be on. Other meteorite. Moon mining. I want to hear what Arms 24 has to say. South Africans push back against the genocide story. Pokemon Ninja. Works probably. Yes. Should work now. Cloud wallet log me out.
Eunice Mason, our correspondent in Cape Town, joins us now to tell us about this open letter. Eunice, you wrote an article on this letter, this open letter by the Afrikaans community. Just take us through exactly what the points were.
Yes, thank you for having me. And as you've mentioned, this group of prominent Afrikaners includes writers, academics, and business leaders. They publicly pushed back against what President Donald Trump claims of so-called white genocide in South Africa. So this group issued an open letter, which is called Not in Our Name, rejecting Trump's repeated allegations. And the letter was also sent to the US senators, some US senators, to counter what they say is misinformation. So when we briefly look
Not
at
in
the
Our Name makes me think of the
responds directly to Trump's
Israelis
refugee
against the
policy, wanting to
genocide.
prioritize white
The
Afrikaners
Jews.
seeking asylum. Now, in the letter, the authors state that white Afrikaners are not under existential threat and that by portraying them as victims of racial persecution, not only distorts reality, but also damages relationships built over 30 years since the end of apartheid.
Can't you guys see
They also
how under
argue that
threat
to
I
elevate
am?
white suffering above others reinforces a racialized worldview. And the letter's publication exposed a deep internal divisions within the Afrikaner community in itself, between the left-leaning commentators who have welcomed it, but also the right-leaning groups, particularly AfriForum and Solidarity, who have criticized it strongly, saying that the authors, many of whom are academics, are out of touch with the lived experience of South Africans. Now keep in mind, AfriForum and Solidarity have for years now already been lobbying in the US against racial and land reform laws and also farm attacks in South Africa. Now just to balance the article, we've also tried to understand why some South Africans would seek asylum. And we spoke to a refugee family who have relocated in late August. And according to the refugee, they feel safer in the US than in South Africa. And also their members of the family, 3 members of the family, have been victims of a farm attack. And the refugee also added that they are also financially growing much faster in the US. And lastly, we just have to mention that at this moment, we don't know the exact number of of refugees who have applied for the status in America. It is understood that by the end of September, there were about 400 in total, but more people can still apply under Trump's refugee resettlement program
left
at this
behind
stage.
a 5-bedroom mansion, a mining company, his mother and his dogs.
50 Afrikaners at least by the end of the year. Eunice, thank you so much. Let's bring in now into the conversation one of those signatories of the open letter, Piet Krokamp, Associate Professor of Political Studies and International Relations at Northwest University in South Africa, as well as Ernst Rutz. You can see him there on the screen. He's the Deputy CEO of the Afrikaner-focused civil rights organization AfriForum, which Eunice was mentioning. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. We are obviously sitting on 2 diametrically opposed sides of the same coin here. Pete, I'm going to start with you. What made you feel so strongly to initiate this letter and to bring the signatories forward?
Look, I don't have to convince you that we had a atrocious past of racial divisions, racism, institutionalized racism, formalized racism, constitutionalized racism.
That's why
to some extent, the Liberal Democratic Constitution of 1994 to 1996 liberated us from being the perpetrators
another
of this
billionaire
racist,
teabagger.
this racist regime. And since then, it is a 10 years, but a very difficult process to build the relationships of trust. And I think we've made significant progress in that regard. So when Donald Trump, and I think it's our argument was that it's part of the Trump regime, the Trump administration, the way that they portray or the way that they understand their own race relationships in America, that they seek to in some other way export that by latching onto Afrikaners in South Africa, and in the process tainting the character of Afrikaners who wish to stay in South Africa, who have decent and qualified relationships
Ai nee,
with
nou onthou
South
ek daai
Africans
ou liedjie
and see themselves as
Afrikaners,
Africans primarily, see
Afrikaners
themselves as
is
South Africans.
bananas.
And we thought that we can't afford that.
And
Our
more so
presence
now
here
than
in
ever
South Africa
before.
and in Africa are being used, or is being used by the Trump regime to, in some other way, justify his own racial agenda in America, and leaves us as sort of a victim, as if he's prostituting Afrikaners to a certain degree for his own political ends. And we felt that there are enough. In fact, there are a large number of so-called right-wing voices in South Africa that has to be countered. We have to set the record straight.
There's racist
we
voices.
don't all think like that. And that there is no evidence that that there's a racial genocide in South Africa, and that's the word that Trump has used.
Fuck, man.
And that there's no, our future in this country is
Jerry, you must see how white neighbors are running down the street away from the black people.
Ernst Roots, you don't agree?
Yeah, well, thank you. Let me just do a quick clarification to start with. I know
well, he's not the one saying that it is. They're against it.
With AfriForum anymore. I used to be deputy CEO at AfriForum. I'm now head of a new think tank called Lex Libertas. So I just want to make that clarification that I don't speak on behalf of AfriForum.
Okay, all that luggage, those good clothes, those fat bellies, they really suffered, yeah, man.
And there are some real debates on how to define these problems. But unfortunately, the response by this list of
we don't want those racists back, thanks.
Is in a sense not that unique to South Africa. It's an age-old phenomenon of a certain class of intellectual elites, especially university professors, people who are very senior in the media, and people in the entertainment industry and so forth, who have a very strong ideological slant in a particular direction, and who unfortunately have become detached from realities on ground level, who seem to have become caught up
reality on
in their
ground
own
level,
intellectual and ideological
facts on the ground,
to such an extent that they are disconnected
Israel style
from what people experience on a daily basis. And so what is really alarming and annoying and frustrating about this is that there are some real tangible issues happening in South Africa. And these people who are now expressing their concern about what they call the narrative are playing into the hands of the ANC, the ruling party in South Africa, who have become a completely destructive force since they took power.
Show us all the evidence.
They are, in a sense, by rushing to the defense of those in power, of the political elite, they're allowing the political elite to get away with murder, and unfortunately it's not just in the figurative sense of the word.
But do you think that rushing to the political elite of America is the solution? Do you not both fear, because you have both appeared...
There are more black people dying per day than white people still, but there's a white genocide. Your ass, man.
That was Pete Krokamp. Do you not think that the Americanization of the South African problems
Americanization, migrants.
I'm going to start with you, Ernst.
Xenophobia, remember that?
Well,
they're copying us, now we're copying them again.
One could make that point, but the fact of the matter is that countries are intertwined, economics are intertwined, South Africa and America are trading with each other, and there's this strange perception, and I know people like Professor Krokamp and his colleagues who have signed this letter
trading with genocidal maniacs that we should stop doing.
That the American government would not have taken a stance if they were not, as they say, fed with false information. As if the American government is so gullible and don't have access to their own.
You want their support, but we mustn't think you're the same.
Where some NGO from some other country
if you're around the table with 10 racists, guess what?
And policy decisions based on that. Firstly, the information provided to the American government is not false. Secondly, the American government has their own capacity to do intelligence and to make their own decisions. And so, but economics and politics, unfortunately, are intertwined. And there are some important reasons why it is also in the interest of America to have some form of stability in South Africa. So even if no one were to rush to the American elites, as you say, the American government would still have taken a stance about this.
But
You
that's
mean
despite
rush
the fact
to
that
the
Donald Trump
American elites
himself,
like
at
you
that meeting
did,
with Cyril Ramaphosa,
brown-noser.
we saw that in the pictures, still projected false information about farm murders. It's not to say that
Where's
there's
Dan
some
Corder
underlying
now?
truth
Settle
to it,
down,
but
brother.
what he projected was false. Let me
Piers
just go
Morgan.
back to
No, that's a bit
Pete
disingenuous
Krookamp.
to put it like that.
Pete, in terms of what Ernst is saying, what is your response? Who actually represents the Afrikaner society? Is it yourself as an academic, or is it Ernst Roots, an activist?
I don't think any of us claim to represent Afrikaner society, but maybe I just should put one thing straight. AfriForum themselves deny Donald Trump's argument that there is white genocide in South Africa. So if Donald Trump's information was as credible as Ernst Root seems to imply, he would not have disagreed with AfriForum, who says there is no white genocide in South Africa. So clearly Donald Trump is wrong in terms of what everybody else, me, us, as well as AfriForum, saying the right-wing groups in South Africa are saying. So his information can't be that credible in the first place. The second place is the argument that we are isolated and we are uninformed. Less than 1% of the more than 1,000 people that signed the letter are academics and people of media. It's not true. I myself have made 2 series of 26 documentaries on agriculture in South Africa, the farming community, which is the main concern of Roots. I have farmed myself for 14 years. Max de Pre, the other signatory, which originated the letter, he himself farmed for more than 10 years in South Africa. So we're not in some other way isolated from the realities of South Africa. And I have written extensively on crime in South Africa. I've done extensive research on violence in South Africa. We are well-informed people. We're not idiots. We're not left-wing. I think you initially said we are left-wing. There's no evidence that we are left-wing. In fact, we're pragmatists, we're constitutionalists, we're people who believe in a democracy. We're not left-wing in any way. We're not any ideology. So I think Ernst got his facts wrong. And he persists with that. By the way,
ek so bly dis 'n boer wat 'n ander broer sleg sê.
Urania, and his past are rooted in Urania. Urania is a white enclave which seeks for a self proclamation of their identity in a very specific area, the Afrikaners and the whites. That is somebody with an agenda. So if I can return to the idea of Donald Trump, of course, Trump doesn't know what's going on in South Africa because he gets his facts wrong.
Was that their connection?
Even the people who disagree with us about this later will agree with us that he is wrong on
yeah,
that
it's his video.
There is no genocide, white genocide in South Africa. It seems like it's only maybe you should ask Aaron, does he think that there is a white genocide in South Africa? And if he says yes, then he disagrees with everybody else in South Africa because there's nobody that will agree with him on that.
Ernst, would you like to respond to that? Otherwise, I can just ask you, is it helpful that Donald Trump thinks that there's a genocide in South Africa, and why hasn't anyone actually gone to him and said that this isn't happening?
Well, I can tell you, I'm very convinced that I've done more than probably anyone else in South Africa to explain why it's not accurate to describe what is happening in South Africa as a genocide. I've even written a book.
It's crime in general.
With a chapter dedicated
general
to explaining
crime.
why it's not
You're
genocide.
Just feeling a
but
target.
The issue here is that there are many things that have been said about South Africa. And yes, some things are accurate descriptions and some things aren't. But if a person raises a list of things about some serious concerns about the country, and one of the conclusions is debatable, one cannot make the conclusion that the entire bundle of concerns has to be addressed or rejected instead. So what we see here is that people like Pete Krookamp and his colleagues have this strange obsession with genocide, and they keep talking about how the American government are spreading lies about genocide and so forth.
You're not stopping them, are you?
They have said that they are concerned about the race laws and South Africa. They have said that they are concerned about the farm murders. They are concerned about the threats to property rights. They are concerned about
Okay, there's
all
white
these things, the
genocide here now.
persecution of
Tell us if
minorities
there's
for which there's
genocide in
tangible evidence.
Gaza.
But all of these
I
real,
bet you
tangible,
argue.
real issues for which there is an abundance of evidence is just brushed under the table. It's swept aside with merely a response saying that there is not a genocide in South
But
Africa.
Ernst, don't you
Genocide
think,
is a legal,
Ernst,
technical definition.
if I may, Ernst,
if this
don't
is
you think that
genocide,
language
what
matters
is
in
Gaza?
that case?
Oh, absolutely, language matters. I'm not sure
Oh,
why you
jy's
would
'n
suggest that I
domkont.
don't think that language matters. Obviously, again, maybe you can help me understand why you think I would be under the impression that it doesn't matter.
In terms of the US president calling it a genocide, don't you think then that other groups will see that as conflating issues, and then also
You're not
it
helping
means that the
those
actual
who
truth
really are
gets lost
suffering,
in the
you
narrative?
asshole.
Well, the American president, Donald Trump, has his way of communicating, and he is a person, it seems, who prefers to communicate by hyperbole. Or
Hyperbole.
And what I've experienced speaking with American journalists
Is
who
it
have
like
come
a
to South
Super
Africa,
Bowl?
one in particular have said to me, if the American president didn't say there was a
Hyperbole, you
genocide,
asshole.
I would not have taken interest in the issue in South Africa. I can see that maybe that's not the correct description of what is happening, but I can see now that there is a very serious crisis in South Africa. But my concern here is that, once again, this discussion is evidence of the same problem. The entire discussion is about whether there's a genocide or not, when there's broad agreement on that question. But why is this discussion not about the ongoing scourge of farm murders? Why is this discussion not about senior politicians, including the former president, chanting "kill the Boer, kill the farmer"? Why is this discussion not about the highest court in South Africa saying that politicians can continue chanting about the extermination of minorities? Why is this discussion not about the fact that there's more than 140 race laws
So
in
you
South
run
Africa?
to one is
Why is this
discriminating
discussion not about
against
the fact that the South African
minorities.
government is trying very hard to change the constitution to erode the property rights clause so that they can confiscate private property without compensation? All of these things are happening. Why is this discussion not about the land invasions
What's on
happening
your
in South
land that
Africa?
you're so
All of these
afraid
things
of
are just
losing?
swept under the table, and we have this intellectual or academic debate about the meaning of genocide. We can agree on what the outcome of that discussion is, but there are some
Is there a
real issues
genocide
that
going
we
on
are
in
not getting
Gaza?
to.
That's
And so
what
the
I
question
would
is
ask.
indeed, why is language?
If
Why
there's
should language be
genocide going
important?
on
It
here,
is important
what is
because there are some real
Gaza?
issues, and these issues should be responded to. But we're not responding to this. These academics who have signed this letter are not
Just like
responding,
you
and with
haven't
all due
responded
respect,
to
you are
his
not responding
question.
to
If
that.
I may, just again interject, just in
Weaving
terms of the
became
farm
a
murders, the
thing,
Institute of Security
Bruma.
Studies said that there were 49 murders between 2023 and 2024 in farms. That constituted 0.2% of murders nationwide. Pete, why do you think that farm murders are taking, such a strong element of this? And on the flip side, is there a sincere worry? Is there actually cause for what Ernst is saying? I mean, this can't all be wrong, can it?
Look, I can tell you now that farm murders is a
Internet
real
up to
problem in
it
South
again.
Africa. In the same way
Doesn't
that the
look
fact
like
that
it.
3 children are being murdered every day is a real problem. 10 women are killed every day. 70 people are killed in South Africa every day. Violence is a real problem.
People, screw the colors,
This extensive
people.
research was done, and I myself have done some research on farm murders in South Africa. Extensive research has shown it is part of the organized crime pattern in South Africa, that it's not politically motivated. It doesn't mean that 1 or 2 cases don't have a political background to it. It's not politically motivated. It has got the fact to do with the fact that people are isolated, that they are rural, that there is a perception and a real perception that white farmers are armed, because many of them are armed, and that they have guns and that they have money on the farms. We know the driving forces of farm murders in South Africa. We have a fair understanding. But if you are white and you think that because these farm murders are by and large committed by young black men, and you think it's them against us, and you identify yourself as a separate type of identity that needs to be protected and the privilege of protection, because you think of yourself as more civilized than everybody else,
Protection.
then
Arima
of course you will
butterfly.
think of yourself as a victim, and that you think that you are targeted in a very specific way. And I think that is the mistake that Ernst has made earlier. If he says, the President of the United States says these people, white farmers, are targeted very specifically with the idea of exterminating them as an identity, then that's exactly the perception that's going around. He can't now avoid the fact that he says the Americans knows everything, and when we pointed out that they're wrong, and he agrees that they are wrong, now suddenly say, we're just playing with words. All these things that he's taken about, we have a fair understanding of the problems of South Africa. We understand what the ANC is doing. We understand the destruction of property, of value, of assets in South Africa. We understand the opportunism. We understand the attack on the Constitution. We understand all these things. We're not naive about these things. All we're saying is the vast majority of the victims of bad governance, of unemployment, of bad policy decisions, of subjective and arbitrary decisions that was made by the ANC as a political party, Black South Africans has paid the price for that. White South Africans are 50% more wealthy than they've ever been before. White South Africans occupy 64% of all business chambers in South Africa. They occupy. White South Africans go to the 30% best schools in South Africa. I can go on and on and on. All the statistics points to the privilege of white South Africans. There's no evidence that there's any form, either a genocide or a form of...
The poorest white man is still better off than the middle-class black man.
Maybe you should tell us, how do we address this privilege that you are pointing
Thank you so much. Sorry, Ernst, I'm going to just ask you one more question to wrap this up. Just a response to that. Is there any proof that farm murders in particular are racially motivated as opposed to all the other crimes that we are seeing across the country? Can you safely say that?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, you mentioned that there are few farm murders in comparison to the larger murder statistics, but your own media publication has expressed concern about journalists who are being murdered in the execution of their duties.
But is that racially motivated?
It was counted there were about 87 journalists, but there are hundreds of thousands of journalists. Now, no one is saying that's just a small number. Don't be concerned about journalists who are being murdered. But when farmers are being murdered,
I'm just asking, Ernst, is this racially motivated? Because the police minister, Senzon Chunu, back in March, he said that there were 5 black deaths to every 1 white death on farms. Will you dispute that?
Yes, my.
It's a complex crime phenomenon, and different attacks happen under different circumstances. But there is an abundance of evidence of farm murders being committed with racist and political intent. We see this with perpetrators chanting "kill the Boer, kill the farmer," chanting political slogans while murdering their victims or while torturing their victims. In some cases, using the blood of the victims to write political slogans on the walls. We find this with perpetrators who have murdered farmers.
And how there's never any evidence in the world of smartphones.
We have found this with perpetrators who have testified under oath that they have done this for racist motives because they hate white people. We see this with politicians chanting "kill the Boer, kill the farmer," and then murderers going out and chanting "kill the Boer, kill the farmer" while they actually attack these people. How can this happen? And then the obvious glaring fact that there's a political motive, not behind every single case, but behind many of these cases, be rejected so obviously in such a flagrant way. It's very clear that there's a political motive, and this should be addressed. And my concern is, why this particular crime phenomenon? It's the only crime phenomenon that I'm aware of, a violent crime phenomenon that is actively encouraged by the government. It's actively encouraged by politicians who chant to their supporters, go out and kill those people. And people keep rushing to the defense of the perpetrators.
I'm so sorry, we're going to have to wrap it up there.
There's one idiot you're talking about.
I would continue this debate much longer. Unfortunately, that is where we have to wrap it up. Ernst Roets coming to us there from South Africa, as well as Piet Krokamp, professor at Northwest University from the same country, talking about Afrikaners.
You're also from the same country.
Against Donald Trump's policies.
We're going to dive straight in with our main story this week, which concerns public media. It's brought us Sesame Street, NPR's Tiny Desk concerts, and the joy of painting with Bob Ross, which once featured this
Bob Ross.
exceptional reveal.
Okay, we'll just put a little color on a fan brush. And in our world, maybe there lives, boy, there does now, just some happy little trees back in here.
Hey, even I've got Bob Ross inspired work, okay?
A little squirrel. If you've painted with me before, you know I have all kind of little creature pets. I'm going to share with you today my latest little squirrel that's living with me. He is the most precious little thing. You have to force him to eat, see?
Oh.
We call him Peapod the Pocket Squirrel.
Oh my God! Peapod the Pocket Squirrel might be the best sequence of words in the history of the English language. And admit it, for a moment, you thought he was talking about an imaginary squirrel there. You heard him say, these little trees will be a super place for my little squirrel, and you assumed he was referring to an animal he was about to paint, not a living rodent on his person. Even when he moved the dropper towards his pocket, a physical squirrel wasn't on your mental horizon. You just figured it was a weird paint tool and that no way was a real-life fucking squirrel chilling in this guy's clothes. There's just no fucking way. What if it shits? But have you ever been happier to be wrong? Also, fun fact, Peapod wasn't Bob Ross's only squirrel. He apparently built an enormous cage outside of his home in which he nursed orphaned squirrels back to health, which is presumably why this absolute banger of a photo exists. And sorry to every living supermodel, but that is a pout. Anyway, in America, almost all public media falls under the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which until recently distributed funding to over 500 radio and TV grantees, representing more than 1,500 locally managed and operated stations nationwide. Together, the system reaches nearly 99% of the US population with free programming and services. And public media has been truly innovative in reaching underserved audiences. It was public TV station that first invented closed captioning in the 1970s, and stations around the country offer programming in Haitian Creole, Navajo, Vietnamese, and many other languages. But as you undoubtedly know, it is now facing a serious threat, as over the summer, Congress decided to eliminate $1.1 billion that had been allocated to fund public broadcasting for the next 2 years. It was something that Trump celebrated like this.
Public broadcasting, they've been looking to get it out of there for billions and billions of dollars, and very, very unfair, very, very unfair reporting. They would, I would say they make CNN look honest, and we got rid of it finally. We got rid of it. We got rid of billions of dollars that was wasted on that.
You know what? I can't explain this in a precise way, but Donald Trump proudly slurring his way through another on-purpose disaster might be the scientific opposite of Bob Ross and Peapod. In fact, if you play those two clips at the same time, I think the world might explode. But it is true, in July, Congress approved Trump's plan to eliminate the CPB's funding entirely. It is one of many egregious actions this administration has taken, which is why the #1 search on Google this year is probably going to end up being, wait, can the government do that? And all of this has understandably upset a lot of people, even some that you may not have thought would be fans of public media, like this guy.
Public radio, it's a national treasure. I mean, where else would you go? As a young man, I watched Ginger Baker have a drum off against the drummer from Rat. And, you know, on Rock School on PBS. You're not going to find that on network television. And not to mention Sesame Street. I mean, look, this is Mr. Rogers. It's quality programming, and it always has been, and it's a damn shame to just throw it in the toilet like that.
Okay, so there is a lot to say there, but mostly the top half of him is not the problem. But I know what you're thinking. You are thinking, I had no idea that the berserker Blothar, lead vocalist of heavy metal band Gwar, was such a fan of public media, but apparently he is, and it is both beautiful and confusing to watch him utter the words Mr. Rogers, as it's hard to imagine them in the same universe, although I'll say I would love to have seen Gwar on Mr. Rogers. Blothar, you are special just the way you are. Your diseased undercarriage composed of abscess-riddled penises makes you, you. But he is right. This budget cut is devastating. Actually, maybe take that down. This cut will be felt all over, but especially in rural, remote and tribal communities. One analysis estimates that as many as 115 stations, collectively serving 43 million Americans, are likely to close by mid-next year. And as a DJ at this Colorado station explains, these stations can fill a vital community role.
One of the things that we do is provide public service announcements that inform people of meetings that are important to the community that they don't always get in a timely fashion otherwise. Some examples that I just read on this morning's show included an announcement about a distribution of school supplies that is occurring today. Here's an announcement about a free Sloppy Joe luncheon for veterans and homeless.
Exactly. That man who looks like Santa Claus if he got just the right amount into the Grateful Dead is completely right. He should also, by the way, probably be public radio's new mascot, given he has the quintessential public radio voice, beard and general vibe. Honestly, if the next NPR tote for sale does not have that man's face on it, they're leaving money on the table. The point is, public media provides incredible benefits to the communities that it serves, and it has just suffered a gigantic blow. So given that, tonight, let's talk about public media, how it works, what it does, and how we go forward. And let's start with the fact that the system, as we currently know it, started when LBJ signed the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967 into law, announcing it like this.
This corporation will assist stations and producers who aim for the best in broadcasting good music, and broadcasting exciting plays, and broadcasting reports on the whole fascinating range of human activity. It will try to prove that what educates can also be exciting. It will get part of its support from our government, but it will be carefully guarded from government or from party control. It will be free and it will be independent, and it will belong to all of our people.
Yeah, that was a bold move. The kind of thing that takes some truly enormous balls, which, as you should know from recordings that we've played of LBJ complaining to the head of the company that made his trousers that the crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight, he definitely had. And quick side note, you may remember a few weeks ago, we had this potentially life-size replica of LBJ's balls made and offered them to his presidential library. Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is we heard from them. The bad news is they politely declined our offer, but in doing so said, please accept this basket of fruit and nuts as a token of our appreciation for all you do. This is the basket they sent, which contains, and this is true, a variety of nuts and fruits, all in sets of 2, which is excellent. Anyway, as Lyndon Balls Johnson just said, that one act authorised the creation of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which then in turn created PBS and NPR. But the CPB's role wasn't to directly produce content or oversee public media as a state arm. It was primarily to distribute funding for it, while crucially remaining independent of the government. That is why the CPB is a private, non-profit corporation. The only issue is that, despite not being a government agency, it is still funded like one, as its funding is embedded in the annual congressional appropriations process. And because Congress controls its funding, that's always left the CPB vulnerable to political attacks. Almost from the start, it has been a punching bag for Republicans. Just 2 years after it was created, Nixon proposed slashing its funding in half, reportedly to help meet the financial demands of the Vietnam War, because apparently the CPB was a bad use of public money, unlike, you know, Vietnam. That is what led to this famous moment in a hearing about the CPB's funding when Fred Rogers addressed a sceptical senator and described what his show was all about.
This is what I give. I give an expression of care every day to each child to help him realize that he is unique. I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. Looks like you just earned the $20 million.
Wow. That is a truly heartwarming thing that would never, ever happen today.
I was just going to say that.
Had given that exact same testimony this year, Ted Cruz would have called him a radical left lunatic, Fox News would have run with the headline, Mr. Rogers' socialist neighbourhood, and the White House would have posted an AI video of President Trump kicking him in the balls. But while public media's funding was saved on that day, it has been threatened consistently ever since, usually with complaints about its so-called liberal bias.
Why is there this small elite group at the Corporation for Public Broadcasting that gets to spend money they didn't earn? What right do they have to dole out your money?
I think the people at PBS see themselves as social agents. They see themselves as having this great forum, this great platform to push what they think will be the good society.
It is brainwashing the American people and, more significantly, American children with un-American, anti-family, pro-crime.
She's on the right
fake
side
news.
of things.
Okay, so a few things in order. First, what right do they have to spend money they didn't earn applies to literally any use of taxpayer money. And also, congratulations to Newt and Callista Gingrich on their documentary Journey to America, released this year on, guess what, PBS. Second, if you're curious why this guy was speaking on behalf of a group called Concerned Women for America, so am I. And finally, as for Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments, I think we all know what she means by anti-family, but I'd love to know what PBS programming is being interpreted as pro-crime. Is it the episode of Arthur where the brain gets himself into a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation? Because I guess you could argue that it inspires kids to commit potion-fueled vandalism, but I think the only real crime involved is that this song has been lodged in my brain for over 2 decades now.
Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde. Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde.
That song will now be in your head until the day that you die. It was my curse, and now it is yours too. Anyway, that clip is from earlier this year at a hearing that Green chaired, where the CEOs of NPR and PBS were questioned about why, in her words, taxpayer funds were being spent on left-wing echo chambers for mostly wealthy white urban liberals and progressives who generally look down on and judge rural America. This hearing was absurd. Again and again, members of Congress would take a tiny, out-of-context snippet, sometimes of something that aired on just one station, and demand that the heads of those organisations defend them. Here is one congressman who thought he really had something.
Do you think that you should publish something that calls trees racist? Is that, in retrospect, should you have published that?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
You had a segment that it was called Racist Trees, and it was I mean, we've already referenced it a number of times. So, I mean, do you think trees can be racist? I guess that's a good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of what you're referring to.
All right.
Well, I have, because we looked it up and it turns out it wasn't a segment about how trees are racist. It was this documentary telling the story of a historically black neighbourhood in Palm Springs and their decades-long fight for the removal of a wall of trees that many believed were originally planted as a totem of segregation. So I guess I'd answer his question of, do you think trees can be racist, with a question of my own, specifically, do you understand that the titles of movies are not always 100% literal? The Shining is not about a successful shoe polishing business, and The Wolf of Wall Street isn't about an actual wolf with a successful investment strategy. Now, should it have been? Absolutely it should, but sadly, it wasn't. And look, there can be a good faith debate over bias in the media, liberal or otherwise, but I'll point out that a lot of the time, what conservatives claim as liberal bias is often just things like showing there's a long history of racism in America or that gay people exist, making it hard to interpret those criticisms as anything other than bigotry. And yet, arguments like those just got used to justify zeroing out the entire budget of the CPB, which isn't just stupid. In many places, it'll actually have the exact opposite of the intended effect. And to understand why, it's worth talking about where all those federal dollars went. Because while some of the CPB's funding did go directly to PBS and NPR at the national level, the vast majority of it, more than 70%, went directly to local public radio and television stations, who used it to do things like produce local programmes, purchase equipment, and acquire national programming like All Things Considered and the PBS NewsHour. And for many stations, that was just one way they got funded, because none relied completely on the federal government. In fact, one survey found that on average, local public TV stations relied on federal funding for 18% of their budgets, with radio stations having an average reliance of around 14%. And a big way they've always made up the difference is through, as you undoubtedly know, viewers or listeners like you. That is why so many stations seem to be constantly running pledge drives, just Take this one from Washington State in 1999, featuring a certain former co-star.
Please call in at 1-800-443-1999 and subscribe, because you can't get programming like Mr. Bean. You can't get programming like Red Dwarf anywhere else except for Channel 9. As you've already seen tonight, British comedy is so amazing, and you can't get that on any other channel practically. And it's so wonderful that Channel 9 can bring this to you. Rowan Atkinson is a genius, and it's just so great that we can bring you all the episodes in one entire night. Mr. Bean is a phenomenal television program in Britain, and you asked for it to be here in Washington, and you get an entire evening of it, and it's just wonderful. I just can't tell you how I am so excited about Mr. Bean and things like Blackadder and Red Dwarf and British comedy brought to you on Channel 9. So please call.
Yeah, that is a young Joel McHale going all out to raise money for his local PBS station. And he was going in hard on the Mr. Bean element there. Those clips go from, wow, Joel really likes Mr. Bean, to, wait, did Mr. Bean say he's going to pay him, to, did Mr. Bean say he's going to kill him? The point is, some local stations heavily depend on donations to get by, and a lot are operating on a shoestring to begin with, like this one in Louisiana.
Before the sun comes up.
Alarm went off at 4 in the morning.
Got here at 5:30. Jeff Farrell turns on the lights at the only NPR news radio station in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Partly cloudy and 73. And
Farrell is the only full-time news employee at Red River Radio. He's the news director, on-air host.
The time is now 8:04.
Field producer.
How much of a difference?
Writer.
You're listening to The Market.
And sound editor. 15-hour days covering news in 3 states.
Do I rest for a second? Yeah. I'll take a quick 15-minute pause and then recharge.
So you sleep in your office?
Sometimes.
Holy shit! The only thing more alarming than that man's workload is the way he briefly dissociated before saying, sometimes. That was either an existential cry for help or he just figured out how to micro-nap in the middle of an interview. But having a tiny staff is not uncommon, and in some parts of the country, particularly less affluent or more rural areas, stations may not be able to raise what they need through their communities, so they've relied more heavily on federal funding. Remember how I said stations relied on it for around 14 to 18% of their budgets? That's an average. For some, it's been much more, because while WNYC, New York's public radio station, lost about 4% of its annual budget when the CPP got cut, KLND in McLaughlin, South Dakota, lost 50%, and KSHI on the Zuni Pueblo in New Mexico lost 96%. And when budgets get slashed, one way an outlet can cut costs is by producing less local reporting and relying more on content that they license from NPR and PBS at the national level. So while I personally think the Greens' caricature of them pumping out un-American programming that doesn't reflect community values is total bullshit, the irony is the more local stations' budgets are slashed, the more they may come to rely on programming produced in those urban echo chambers. As the executive director of a station in California said, the local stuff that's so important to people is probably the stuff that'll go away. And it's worth talking about what some of that local stuff is, because it can be woven into people's lives in all sorts of ways. High school sports, for instance, have become some of the most popular local programs on PBS stations, with the former CEO of Arkansas PBS saying it's one of those things that everybody loves, but isn't necessarily a money-making venture, so commercial networks aren't going to really commit to high school sports. Other areas use public media in quirky ways. In rural Northern California, this station has a regular segment called Trading Time, where people call in to offer items to sell, trade, or give away. And during pledge drive season, callers will sometimes even contribute the proceeds back to the station, leading to once-in-a-lifetime offers like this one.
Good morning. We have a bidet that we just remodeled the bathroom. Took out the bidet that we weren't using. It's in excellent condition. It's a Kohler, and if you go to get one new, they're like $300 or $400, but we will sell this one for $50 or best offer and donate all the money to the pledge drive.
Okay, so it's a good day for a bidet. John and Mendo's got one for you. If you buy it, $50 or best offer, he's going to donate that right to the station.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful. It's also, let's be honest, super weird. The saddest 6-word story may be for sale, baby shoes never worn. But the weirdest one is for sale, used bidet for charity. And if you, like me, thought that was another artifact of the 90s, you should know it is from 3 weeks ago. And it is great to know that public radio can still be a resource for bidet-related news and discussion. All this time, I thought the only place to go for that was the bidets subreddit, where you can find posts like, I didn't buy a bidet, I bought an amusement park ride for my butt. Having a bidet at home has really ruined the allure of pooping at work. My bidet keeps splashing into my balls, and a similar post, husband's chestnuts getting busted in Canada, which goes on to say, husband's honey nuts getting brutalised by the bidet, gentlemen help him, Canadian cantaloupes are compromised. But obviously, it is not all high school sports and bidets. In some places, public media is the only source of local news. According to one analysis, in 9 counties, a public broadcasting station is the sole source of local news coverage. And in 47 others, it's one of only 2, with the other typically being a weekly newspaper. And local public media scored some amazing scoops, to rattle off just a few. In West Virginia, these outlets uncovered the fact that Bob Murray, friend of the pod, fought against black lung regulations and then filed for black lung benefits for himself, which is exactly the kind of behaviour that might lead someone to tell you to go eat shit. In Alaska, KTOO broke the story of a massive food stamp backlog affecting thousands of people, with the Alaska Press Club later writing that it was the reporter's community-based reporting and relationships with sources that brought light to a state problem that affected thousands of Alaskans whose voices needed to be heard. And a reporter at this radio station in New Hampshire produced both a massive investigation and this podcast about alleged sexual misconduct at the largest addiction treatment centre in the state. And she kept at that reporting even as the target of her investigation sued her in her station, and as her house and those of her parents and her boss were vandalised. And that's something that she later explained to her public TV station.
My husband checks our security cameras, and sure enough, a brick had been thrown through my living room window, and the words "just the beginning" were spray painted, ! Under the broken window.
And you have a young daughter.
I do have a young daughter. And
was there a point when you thought maybe I won't be continuing this? Did it make you think about dropping this, not wanting to continue working on it?
You know, I never considered stopping.
Yeah, that is incredibly brave. Especially because I'm assuming that message didn't continue, just the beginning of a storied career in investigative journalism. Keep up the good work. P.S. The brick is made of chocolate. The point is, local public media is filled with impressive reporting like that. In fact, we've relied on it on this show in pieces that we've done about HOAs, juvenile justice, and in our first and second lethal injection stories. And if you're hearing those and thinking, man, this show is more depressing than I remembered, girl, same. And as this manager for a tribal station in Oregon explains, if budget cuts mean she can't afford to broadcast news to her listeners, that's going to be a problem not just for her station, but for everyone.
We do our own local newscasts, and we can cover Warm Springs better than anybody. Mainstream media doesn't necessarily show up unless something very bad has happened.
She'll have to make cuts, and she expects to lose access to national news and tribal networks.
Native America Calling in National Native News, and those are programs that people here love and tune in for, like every day at 10 o'clock.
Leaving the high desert at risk of becoming a news desert.
There'll be like a void where probably incorrect information will grow.
Exactly. And I know that when you hear void where incorrect information will grow, you immediately think of whatever infinite chasm is behind Megyn Kelly's eyes. But in this case, it means something else, and even beyond news. Public media can be how critical information gets disseminated in communities with limited broadband or cell service. Public radio may be the only way to distribute missing and endangered persons alerts. It can also be crucial during an emergency like a hurricane. Remember that station where one guy is the only full-time news employee? If it goes away, a lot goes with it.
About 19% of Louisiana lives in poverty, and 15% don't have internet access, according to the U.S. Census.
You can't afford satellite TV. You can't buy cable. And they're alone. And so it is a lifeline. And what's great about this is that they feel connected. They stay connected to the world.
These radio emergency alerts are vital during hurricane season, warning folks where and when storms will hit.
Public radio saves lives. the emergency broadcast system. Without it, people would die.
Right. Without their emergency broadcast system, people would die. If you take one thing away from this piece, it really should be that, even though, unfortunately, it will probably be this instead.
Jekyll, Jekyll, hide.
Jekyll, hide, hide, Jekyll. Jekyll, Jekyll, hide, Jekyll, hide. You're living this for the rest of your life. This is never, ever leaving your brain. It's tattooed onto your eardrums. Look, it's not just that. Some stations have also jumped in to serve their listeners even when they're not prepared to. Take Blue Ridge Public Radio in North Carolina, which had to pivot into emergency alerts during Hurricane Helene last year, when its small staff of 7 didn't just report through the storm and immediate aftermath, but they also kept working through a 53-day stretch where locals didn't have access to clean water. And if you hear the messages they got from listeners afterwards, you get a picture of just how much their work meant to people.
You guys were wonderful and you sustained me. I was isolated on a mountainside.
My wife and I, we love you.
Thank you guys so much for being there. It's just going to cry because you're the only source of information that we've had. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's incredibly moving. Honestly, I feel like I'm going to cry, and I haven't cried at a radio segment since that time I heard about a near mint condition cola bidet being sold for the low, low price of $50. So that is what is at stake here. And while some might suggest that the free market will fill in the gaps, in many cases, these stations only exist because the free market has shown that it won't. Because, unfortunately, it may well not find value in localised emergency alerts during hurricanes, or announcing free sloppy joes for veterans, or even in pocket squirrels, which is madness given they should clearly be the most valuable commodity on the fucking planet. As the general manager of Blue Ridge Public Radio told one reporter, NBC Nightly News can show you pictures of devastating flooding, but they don't tell locals where to get fresh water. NBC News is not for that. And she's right, NBC isn't focused on emergency info on the local level. It's clearly focused on one thing and one thing only, keeping law and order, how little federal funding it receives. Even before these cuts, federal spending amounted to less than $1.60 per capita on it, compared to countries like Norway, Sweden and the UK, which devote nearly $100 or more. And research shows a positive correlation between the strength of public media systems and the health of democracies. And given that the health of our democracy is currently best described as that one photo of Prince Philip where he was in the car, we could use all the public media funding we can get right now. So, what can we do? Well, in a universe in which a competent, effective government were in place, we'd ideally work on a long-term fix for the way the CPB is funded, and instead of giving Congress the power to take its money away every 2 years, we'd institute some kind of tax or licensing fee that could reliably fund it. That is something people have been recommending since the CPB was first created. Sadly, we do not live in that universe right now. And until we do, public media is in a dire situation. Now, fortunately, there's been a big public push recently to raise money to support hard-hit stations for as long as possible. A non-profit called the Public Media Company has launched an initiative called the Bridge Funds to collect and distribute funding to at-risk local public media stations. And if you want to give to one directly, you can find the stations most in need at adoptastation.org. Meanwhile, others are finding imaginative ways to raise money, including just this week, this.
Who doesn't love Bob Ross, right? 3 original paintings by the renowned TV artist have fetched a total of $662,000 at auction. Proceeds of the sale will support public TV stations, which need it after recent federal funding cuts.
Yeah, it's true. Apparently, Bob Ross Inc. is putting paintings like these up for auction to raise money, and they're absolutely beautiful. Look, I am no art connoisseur. My liking a painting often comes down to whether or not it features cartoon rats getting it on. But in this case, I'll happily make an exception. Now, I'll be honest, we actually bid on those paintings, trying to win one so that we could re-auction it tonight to benefit public media. Sadly, those prices were outside of our budget. So we asked the people at Bob Ross Inc. if they'd donate another one for us to auction. And they said, very kindly, that's just not something they do. Otherwise, everyone would ask them all the time and they'd have no paintings left, which does make sense. But then we remembered we've actually accumulated a bunch of weird artifacts on this show over the years that we could definitely auction off to raise some much-needed money. So please, come with me.
There you go.
Welcome. I am proud to announce last week tonight's first ever auction in aid of public media. This is real. It will be running through November 24th, and you can bid at the website johnoliversjunk.com, which was inexplicably available. We have lots of fantastic items up for sale. Here's just a selected few. Now, our first items actually been auctioned off before, because you may remember we once bought Russell Crowe's jockstrap from Cinderella when he held a, quote, Art of Divorce auction. He then used the proceeds to fund a koala chlamydia ward in Australia in my name. Well, I'm now happy to say this life-saving jockstrap can be yours. Here it is. It is a priceless piece of cinematic history, and it has saved countless koalas. Moving on to item number 2. Back in season 9, you may remember that I married a cabbage in a beautiful non-denominational ceremony officiated by Steve Buscemi. Well, there is no good way to say this. My cabbage wife is available for sale to the highest bidder, no questions asked. As much as it hurts for us to split, we are doing it for the greater good. Bidding for her is now open. Moving on to item number 3, and as I mentioned earlier, these were featured on our show pretty recently. LBJ's giant balls. Just look at these glorious monstrosities. If LBJ's Presidential Library does not have a home for them, maybe you do. Because these things could be a real conversation piece for your living room, bedroom, studio apartment, or indeed nursery. And keeping with the presidential theme, we are also auctioning off our wax presidents, which we bought at an auction in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and put in movie parodies with, among others, Laura Linney and Tom Hanks. But wait, because I'm still not done here, and to tell you about some other items up for auction, here is a man with decades of experience fundraising for public television, Mr. Joel McHale.
Thanks, John. As you've seen tonight, public media is so amazing. I love it almost as much as I love British comedy, which is so amazing. Rowan Atkinson is a genius, and anyone who thought they could replace him as Zazu in The Lion King is out of their fucking mind. That movie was ruined without him. Anyway, I'm so excited to tell you about some of these items, including these golden sneakers worn by British comedian John Oliver in a show about FIFA that, judging by this, aired around 25 years ago. So amazing. And because no public media fundraiser is complete without it, we're also auctioning off a bidet signed by, and this is true, the Berserker Blothar from Gwar. So amazing. And finally, and this is my favorite item, I think everyone knows how excited I am about Rowan Atkinson, the #1 British comedian of all time. So, we're auctioning off a complete DVD box set of Mr. Bean, signed by me, Sir Joel McHale. Back to you, Seth.
Thank you so much, Joel. All those items and more are available at johnoliversjunk.com, with all proceeds going to the Public Media Bridge Fund. But wait, there's actually one more thing here, because remember when I said that Bob Ross Inc. never lets people have paintings to sell? That is true, they never do. Except incredibly, they've told us they're willing to make a one-time exception for this auction. So we have this actual Bob Ross original up for sale. It is called Cabin at Sunset. He painted it on TV in 1987 and it's been in storage for nearly 40 years. It is a true masterpiece, painted by a man, and I'm just going to assume his pocket squirrel Peapod. You can find this painting and many, many other items, from a case of John Oliver wine to our giant Reese's mug, as well as a link to find stations to donate to directly at johnoliversjunk.com. That is it. That is our show, and indeed our season. Thank you so much for watching us all year. We truly appreciate it. We'll see you again in February. Good night. Thank you so much.
I know Jimmy is off for a week because of Pluto's passing. I haven't seen Steven or Oh goodness, I scrolled past myself on the live. Either.
Please bid for her now. Bid right now. I'm gonna miss you so much. You're going to a better place.
I was still rolling a smoke.
Now, over in America, they've had some devastating news. Look who's back.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
He's like Thrush. You just can't get rid of him. Big round of applause from you two ladies in the front.
Absolute bind. Live yog at my ass.
That's probably why it's not working. You're not meant to put it there. Did you see? I'm dreadfully sorry. Did anyone else see Trump's slogan? Make America great and glorious again, or
My gaga.
That's not a slogan. That's a piss Teletubby. It sounds like someone on ketamine trying to say this lady's name.
My gaga. Lady Magaga.
Did you see Trump's speech? It was full of the usual bollocks.
I've gone decades without a war, the first president to do it for that long a period.
You've gone decades without a war. You were only in charge for 4 years, you simple fuck. That's like me going, I got married in 2019. It's been the happiest 50 years of my life. Inevitably, Trump had a pop at Joe Biden.
He said thank you to the wrong country for inviting him to a major summit.
Yeah, Biden mixed up Cambodia and Colombia, but it's a bit rich coming from Trump. Let's not forget how he pronounces Tanzania.
Our embassies in Kenya and Tanzania.
Mind you, if you think he struggles with words, check out how he deals with a water bottle.
Are you getting ready?
Oh, he learned to do it with one hand.
It's like he's blowing on it. He's drinking it like a gerbil who's had lip fillers. Just so upsetting. His mouth is so weird. It's like watching someone perform ventriloquism with their asshole. Which I'd watch and got a round of applause weirdly. That might have been your hands, that might have been your ass. Just kind of...
Amen, Russell.
What I don't understand, how is he able to run for president, particularly when he did this?
When FBI agents searched Mar-a-Lago, they found top-secret documents and dozens of empty folders marked classified inside former President Trump's personal office.
Listen to him bullshitting about why it was okay for him to remove those papers.
If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
So let me get this straight. Your brain is so powerful, it can declassify things just by thinking about them, but you still can't say Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Did you see what he claimed other presidents have done?
George H.W. Bush took millions of documents to a former bowling alley and a former Chinese restaurant where they combined them, so they're in a bowling alley / Chinese restaurant.
Those well-known establishments. I've lost count of the times I've been to a Chinese restaurant / bowling alley. We all love. Fancy some sweet and sour bowling? I can't. I'm booked for ping pong curry.
Chinese bowling
He wasn't just
restaurant.
inventing new restaurants. Look where he claims Bill Clinton hid his documents.
Bill Clinton took millions of documents from the White House to a former car dealership in Arkansas and kept classified recordings in his sock drawer. In fact, he supposedly put the information from the White House into his socks.
Absolute madness. The only thing Bill Clinton used his socks for was cleaning up jizz.
There's the man who plugged the loo with those smokes.
Over in America, the tiny-handed bullshit machine spoke to the nation.
This may be the most important speech I've ever made.
So, was it about COVID, a plan to reset the economy? What do you think?
This election is about great voter fraud. Fraud, 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 outright fraud, 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 fraud. It was about fraud.
Was
Waste and abuse.
Some of his excuses were ridiculous.
The Democrats had this election rigged right from the beginning. They used the pandemic, sometimes referred to as the China virus.
Yeah, by you, sometimes referred to as the tango twat, but continue. How did they use the pandemic?
As an excuse to mail out tens of millions of ballots, which ultimately led to a big part of the fraud.
No, people wanted to vote remotely so they wouldn't die of COVID. Anything else?
It is statistically impossible that the person, me, that led the charge lost.
You don't know about statistics. You can barely pronounce it.
Statistics.
You lost the popular vote by 7 million and the Electoral College by 74. Read those statistics. By the end, he was just rambling.
I have a lot of friends in Detroit. They know it.
I got a lot of friends in Bristol. What's your point?
Who's they?
There's no one happier right now than China.
I don't know. What about this guy?
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Do you know why he's so happy? He nicked this guy's teeth. It's 13 days to go until the US election, and Trump has been on the campaign trail. Did you see him revealing details of his hospital stay? I think he took part in an orgy.
I had 12 doctors around the bed, and everyone was grabbing a different part of my body.
It was like getting pleasured by an octopus.
I don't know if it's the drugs he's on, but his campaign strategy's really changed.
I can now jump into the audience and give you all a big kiss, the women and the men. I'll even kiss the men. I'll kiss those big, powerful men down there. I won't love it, but I'll kiss them.
You'll kiss them down
Kiss
there.
those men.
Like
I
you
don't
did
want to,
Bubba.
but if I've got to, I'll kiss every goddamn bit of them. Listen, Donald, if you want to kiss the men, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't fight who you are. I mean, you already dance like you're beating off a couple of invisible blokes.
On his days on the farm.
Now, when he wasn't giving out hand jobs to ghosts, he was discussing... which is my new album. He was discussing what he'll do if he loses the election to Joe Biden.
Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
He's going to leave America. Where's he going to go? Nobody wants him. And how is he going to go to other countries when he can't even pronounce it?
Production to Thailand, Tanzania, Nambia,
By Venezuela's.
Puerto Rico, China.
I want a one-way ticket to Germany.
Anchor wasn't finished.
He gave us the roar. He gave us all the roar.
No, He gave you corona. Did you see how packed his rallies were? Four more years. They'll be lucky to last 4 weeks. It was so reckless. According to a Stanford report, Trump's rallies may have led to 700 COVID deaths and 30,000 extra cases. He risked their lives to talk shit. I mean, did you hear his campaign slogan? It wasn't exactly new.
It's called Make America Great Again, Again.
Oh my God.
Who's his speechwriter? Mickey Flanagan.
Oh my God.
If you have to make something great again, then you fucked up. Over in America, less than a week to go until the US election. Did you see why Trump was attacking CNN?
The pandemic. They're getting tired of the pandemic, aren't they? Getting tired of the pandemic. You turn on CNN, that's all they cover. COVID, pandemic, COVID.
Why are they mentioning a virus that's killed 200,000 Americans when Trump is out there talking about what really matters?
I brought back the old light bulb.
The real issues.
Dishwashers now have a lot more water.
Yes, they do. Christ, the only time he mentions COVID is to promote Regeneron. But between you and me, I don't think he took Regeneron. I think he took cocaine.
He gave me Regeneron, and I wake up the next morning and I felt like Superman. I ripped my shirt off. I want to go back. I want to go. We got to go and beat China, and we got to beat everybody.
We gotta beat everybody. Fuck you, China. We got light bulbs. We got dishwashers. It's not just Coke. He's on ecstasy. He thinks everything's beautiful.
2 beautiful hands.
The most beautiful bikes.
Beautiful transcribers. Beautiful, clean coal.
Beautiful new equipment.
A beautiful dog.
Beautiful world wars.
Beautiful bars.
Beautiful big new factory.
Beautiful wall.
Beautiful fraud.
Beautiful letter from Kim Jong-un. A giant, beautiful, massive, the biggest ever in our country, tax cut.
Tax cut. Did you see the final presidential debates? Holy shit. Trump had the audacity to say this.
I am the least racist person in this room.
And what did he say minutes later?
Look at China, how filthy it is. Look at Russia. Look at India. It's filthy.
It's filthy.
How can I be racist? Some of my best friends are white.
There's more. Check out this claim.
Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump.
Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Jesse Jackson, Barack Obama. Fuck me, Shaggy's done more. But will he take the credit?
Wasn't me.
That's a really silly joke, but I like it. Now, when Trump wasn't talking shit, he was talking bollocks. Look what he accused Biden of.
They want to knock down buildings and build new buildings with little, tiny, small windows.
They want tiny windows. Don't laugh, madam. Little tiny windows in the middle of a door.
That's a letterbox, you thick fuck. Mind you, if you think tiny windows is insane, how about this for a boast?
I know more about wind than you do.
I'm a wind genius. A breezy brainiac. There isn't a whoosh, breeze, or gale that escapes my gusty knowledge. In fact, sometimes for a hoot, I'll hang my head out of a window like this.
Which might explain this look. Possibly the worst US president of all time, Donald Trump. Thanks to Elon Musk, we can look forward to more of this kind of wisdom.
Kidney has a very special place in the heart. I know words, I have the best words. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. Infantry been criminal, look, applicable. I'm not a big fan of sharks either. A wheel is older than a wall. You can shoot me, but you'll have to kill us all. Something.
Hooray for humanity. See you after the break.
As famously said by Earl Nightingale. Something.
In London. Good to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. I'll show you my...
Rent prices in London are so expensive that most people cannot afford to live in normal-sized apartments.
This is like living room space.
This means that people must get creative and live smaller if they want to be in Europe's most desirable city. This is the whole space right here. Today, I'm on a mission to track down residents living in the most claustrophobic spaces.
Why do I
We
live
begin
in
with
Denmark?
Harrison.
I thought of
How's it going?
relocating
Oh, you're
to
good,
the
man.
UK.
Who built his entire life on top of a literal dumpster. You actually live here?
I live here full time.
Wait, there's no lock? It just opens?
Well, there was supposed to be a little bit of a lock.
Aha, there's the lock.
This is the technique. This is also a security measure. Someone did break in.
Oh no.
And I came home one day, they were sitting out here smoking, and I was like, by the way, this is a skip, which in the UK is basically a dumpster. Yeah, yeah.
So you live in a dumpster?
So I do live in a dumpster.
Let's do it, man. Entering the skip house of London. Whoa, cool.
It's not an easy entrance initially, but you get used to it.
So you actually live here? This is freaking insane, bro. What is going on? Just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Easy.
Bro, this is so freaking cool. This is the entire place. How long have you been living here?
2.5 years now.
And you built it yourself?
I built it, yeah, myself.
You seem like a construction type guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much my job. Architecture. So I came up with the idea 3 years ago when I was looking for places to live. As everyone knows, London rent is crazy. So I was like, oh, there's got to be another way for me to find a place to live. And I'd already done 2 or 3 projects with skips before. And so then I kind of connected the dots and I was like, I wonder if I could live inside one.
You literally built this?
Came up with the idea, did the design.
How long did it take you to build it?
Took 3 or 4 weeks.
That's it?
Super
just
quick.
You?
Me and mainly one of my friends.
Do you actually pay rent here?
I pay a little bit towards the land, like
Okay.
tiny little bit.
Like 100 quid a month?
250 a month now.
Harrison, do you mind giving me a little tour here of how things operate?
Of course. We'll do the main things first. Bed is above my head, so I have a ladder all the way up.
So this is technically a living room?
This is like living room space.
Slash
And
kitchen,
then
slash
kitchen,
bedroom.
slash everything. Storage is all up on the side. So this is all clothes.
You hanging up jackets,
Yeah.
toiletries.
Toiletries. This drawing I got for my 3rd birthday from my dad.
That's awesome. What is this thing? Rock climbing?
Rock climbing. If you notice, there is a whole route
What?
all the way up.
You know what I'm gonna ask you next, Harrison? I can't see a rock climbing route without taking it. I'm gonna try it too, but just show me the first step. How do you do it?
These were just like secondhand. Okay.
Okay.
This is the start position. Both feet up. And then there's 2 holes behind. And then you can swap your feet.
Okay.
And there's another hole
So
there.
the game is the ground is lava.
Yeah.
Can't touch the ground.
And then there's one more there. And then there's a little one there. And then that's the last hole.
Nice, dude. Then you jump into bed from there?
Exactly.
That is crazy. This dude's rock climbing. How many square meters is this?
You could say it's like 4 square meters maybe.
On this side right here is the kitchen. I see we got a sink. Do you have running water?
I have a tap outside, which comes through a hose from my very kind neighbor. So I basically carry this out pretty much every day.
Yeah, you hear that every night when you sleep?
I do.
Oh my God. So we got incense here, smelling good.
Incense.
We got Buddha something over there, whatever that is. We got another Buddha cat thing.
That was my first gift. The day I literally moved the skip into the land, somebody walked past and I spoke to her.
It's only good luck if the left arm is moving.
Yeah, well.
Wait, you can't. There we go. The left arm should always be moving. You got some Russian money up there. some photos, skips, whatever that means.
Skips and a skip.
I like your little travel section. That's cool. You have power.
I have power.
How do you have power in
Got
here?
water. There's an electrical box like just behind here. So I literally run an extension cable through here.
For free?
I pay for it. It works out as like £30 a month.
How much did you spend to build this house?
It cost me about £4,000 or £5,000 over the course of, since I've been here now 2.5 years, then it works out as a good saving.
I'm heading upstairs to Harrison's bedroom, but in order to get there, I'm gonna rock climb. So if I remember correctly, you start here.
Yeah, you might want to face the other way.
I'll take any tips if you have them.
That's the one.
I'm also pretty short.
No, this is good. Yeah, that's it. There's another hold up the top as well. Yeah. And then foot across, yeah. Exactly. That's good. This is excellent.
Damn, dude.
And then there's another little foot
Oh,
here.
a little foot ski.
It's not the best foot. And there's a hidden hold behind it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Woo! Working up a little sweat here.
And then the last hold at the top.
Oh, got it.
Don't crash down on me.
I made it. Damn. Like, this is actually insane. Just for the fresh breeze. So this is where you sleep. So I imagine in the summertime it's really hot and in the wintertime it's really cold.
Yeah. Summertime I have like fan here, full blast, straight on me. And then winter I've got a heater downstairs and actually that works pretty good.
If you wake up from a nightmare and you stand up, you're gonna boom, bang your head. So you gotta be careful. Do you have Wi-Fi?
Kind of. I have like, I have a hotspot, like a 3G dongle thing.
So you have water, you have electricity, you kind of have internet. Those are all pluses.
Those are all pluses.
Where's the bathroom, bro?
Bathroom, shower, that's the not so big problem. Porta potty is the toilet, that's all I've got. And then shower, I shower at the gym, I shower at work.
Whoa, okay, now we just got more intense. There's no shower. Just outside the skip house, 5 meters away is the loo.
They come and empty it like every couple of weeks.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
A couple of weeks, so it must be pretty stinky in there.
Your tools stored here as well.
I've never in my life seen a bathroom used as a storage unit like this. Okay, a couple of spider webs and stuff, but you got a place to do your business, and that's all you really need.
That's all you need.
A shower is what you need.
I really need a shower right now.
Wow. Harrison, the main question I want to ask you. Are you happy in the skip house?
Of course, very happy. I put that, yeah. I'm trying to convince myself here, but I'm happy here.
Harrison isn't the only one getting creative to save money on rent. On the other side of London, I connected with a girl named Shannon, whose home is a self-made boat on the canal. It's quite the hipster part of town, a lot of cafes, bars. This must be the canal right here. Little Amsterdam-y vibes. Whoa, this is cool. This is the way down. It's over here. Looks like a proper squatter area. Smells like piss. Super interesting, this neighborhood. A lot of graffiti on the walls. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
All right, this is Shannon's place.
Well, it's a little bit sketchy around here, so just don't leave anything out because I got my phone swiped the other day.
The other day?
Yeah, so someone came past on a bike and took the phone out of my hand.
What?
Yeah, so you have to be quite careful.
Yo.
Right, so you come straight into my bedroom.
Cool.
If you can call it that. It's basically a cubby hole for my bed. So when I go to sleep, I'll move all that into the living room.
Love it.
You come straight through into my kitchen. And it's a proper little kitchen. Like I have a gas oven and hob, water, so that's drinking water, and that's just.
You have a tap for drinking water.
Yeah, so I have like a filter under here. So that basically filters it to make it fresher, essentially. And I've even got a little fridge freezer that actually does work. Got a can of Stella and some Lucozade because I was hungover last time I came in here.
So that's all you have in here. That's a sad fridge. There's no food.
And then you come into the bathroom here. So it's a little tiny toilet and a shower. Yeah, of course. I have to get cleaned somehow. It's not the canal. I'm not going to jump in the canal, am I?
That's the toilet?
That's the toilet. So the toilet looks normal from that side, right? If we go here, I'm not going to actually open it, don't worry, because it's gross. Under here is where you put your cassette. That's where all my poop and piss are. But basically, I take that out and you screw off the little yellow thing and you put it in the canal. No, I'm joking, you don't do that. You have a thing called an L-stand, which is basically a giant well, and you basically empty it all in there. It's the Canal and River Trust, who are basically the governors of the canal. They basically say you need to put it in there. So it's like a designated area.
How often do you remove your poop?
Probably every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks maybe, but I have another one of those, so I interchange them. So there's actually one at the front that's full that I'm waiting till I get to the point, and then I'm going to empty them both.
And shower, how does that feel?
Shower's really good, surprisingly. I actually have a really good shower. I have hot water, I have a boiler. Yeah, I can show you that if you come in here. So that is my electricity. That's for covering windows, it's cold. That's my boiler, basically. So that is really good.
You even put storage behind
Every nook and cranny has to have something in it, honestly.
Oh my God.
Even here, look, I've got dining table.
What? Show me. Oh my God, my back is against the wall here. I'm like, how do I film this? Okay.
I can't get it out, it's too big. But he basically unclips and then these will come down. So there you go. And then you can fold it out and put it in there.
This is so unique. What do your friends and family think of your lifestyle?
My parents thought I was absolutely mad, and my friends love it. My parents love it now as well. I think people aren't surprised that I do it because I'm a bit of that sort of person. Like I just kind of jump into crazy things.
You consider yourself a minimalist?
Yes, I think, but that's more because my head is so busy that I like to have simple pleasures in life so I can keep active doing other things.
And if you stay in here for more than like if you're sick and you're just stuck in here, do you feel claustrophobic or do you feel lonely in here?
No, never. I like being on my own. When I got it, it was like a really ugly pale blue. So as soon as I came, I was like, gotta make it a bit funky because I'm an artist and that's what I do.
How long have you lived here?
2.5 years. Yeah, it's been a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. It was a massive learning curve and a lot of tears. I have a wood burner here that you basically put your wood in. It's very clean at the moment because I haven't used it for a while. But
it actually works.
Yeah, it works really well. You can actually boil the kettle on top and you can put a jacket potato inside and cook a jacket potato in there if you want.
It's a jacket potato.
Oh, a baked potato. A jacket potato is what we call it.
A jacket potato? That's a funny Britishism. A jacket potato.
It's like he's wearing a jacket.
So 2.5 years. What's been the best and the worst part about living here?
The best part is definitely the community. Like the boating community is all very creative, very fun, very free. And obviously you're right next to nature, so you get to see like all the little birds and like just amazing things. And you get to move everywhere. The worst
You actually drive the boat around? Yeah. To go anywhere?
Yeah.
Even on the main Thames River, River Thames?
You can, I haven't.
You have to be like a certified driver to own this, right?
No.
You don't?
Anyone can do it.
Do you often host guests here or you just kind of stay alone when you're here?
I have a lot of parties here, yes.
What's the maximum capacity that you fit here?
10. But in summer, we could sit on the roof.
The government legally allows you to park on the side of the canal and just stay here?
So the maximum is 2 weeks. So you can't stay longer than that. And that's basically to keep the canals going, because otherwise everyone would stay.
But who's checking how long you stay?
There are people, they go up and down and they check your number plate. That's maybe why mine is facing inward. Mine's facing the wrong direction. I'm not going to say why.
Not checking. Now they're checking.
No.
Wait, hold on a second. What if you stay 15 days? They could actually give you a fine?
They give you, not a fine, they give you a warning. They basically can ban you from having a boat license. And the boat license isn't like a driving license. It basically means that they've allowed you to be on the canal.
Can I ask you how much you spent on this whole project?
The boat itself was 24,000. And I've obviously upgraded it in certain ways. So I've given it better electricity. All in all, probably about 26,000. But I was paying rent before for £1,000 a month for one room in a 3-bed house.
So that's like 2 years of rent there, and now you have your own place.
And I have my own place.
How much does water and electricity cost?
Electricity and water free.
Really?
Because I got solar panels.
You seem really happy and excited to live here, and that's amazing.
I love it. I find it quite freeing because I had to get rid of a lot of my items. And I think living very minimally is a good way of like being happy.
What's your job?
I'm a video producer. And I also teach art classes, and I'm an artist.
Speaking of, can I see your art on your arms?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's cool. It's like, so it's like a vine?
Yeah, there are different flowers, basically. And that's my dog, Gilbert. He's not here today, obviously.
Oh, where's Gilbert?
He's with my boyfriend. He's a bit of a nightmare. He's a little pug, and he just does...
I have a pug, too! You have a pug?
Yeah.
What?
I have a little black pug.
Oh, my God.
There's Gilbert.
Wait. Why is he not here? Damn, I'm like obsessive pug.
He just gets in the way when I'm trying to do things like this.
What's in this? Just random stuff over here?
Yeah, that's just all my storage. Yeah. Like,
you have to make use of every inch.
Yeah, even under here is storage. It's just clothes.
Okay, gotcha.
All my clothes. Ah! Oh, you get a lot of spiders.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I hate spiders.
Where's it gone?
It's right there. You don't mind holding
I love spiders.
You love spiders?
Yeah, they get rid of the mosquitoes.
Oh my God, you're actually playing with a spider right now. That doesn't freak you out?
No, and I'm not going to get rid of him either. I'm going to keep him in here.
I hate spiders.
It's my resident spider.
We are now going upstairs.
Let's go out, let's go out. Oh. So, do you want to actually get on the top?
Sure. Why Little Drifter? Did you put that on there?
No, but it was called that before, but I will show you something.
Whoa! Oh, that's cool.
She's on me forever. So you basically just need to give yourself a big jump, get on top.
Can we sit on the solar panels?
Yeah, of course you can.
Wow, so the solar panels actually charge everything that you need.
Yep.
So when you're sitting on top of your house and there's people walking on the street, do you get weird looks or do you have people say, is that your house?
I have everyone talking to me or taking photos. Especially when I was in Camden, I think there's a lot of tourists around there, and someone actually pokes their head into my hatch to look in, and I was like, oh, hello.
Do you suggest it to people? Do you think it's a good lifestyle?
I think it's a lot of work. You need to be a sort of certain person to do it. You have to get your hands dirty. But if you like adventure and you like exploring new places and you don't mind being on your own, and you work from home, that helps. Don't go for it.
Shannon's life on the canal shows just how much sacrifice people will make to live in London, but just wait until you see what's next. I'm taking the tube to South Kensington to meet our next interesting character of the day named Caesar. From what I've gathered so far, he lives in a tiny, tiny space. Excited to meet him and excited to take the tube. It literally is a tube, by the way. That's why it's called the tube. Quiet in here. Nobody talks. Weird. Travel tip, if you come to London, take the tube. It's like 2 times faster than sitting in traffic, trust me. This is a nice little area here. Fancy buildings, double-decker buses. Random thought here as I'm walking the streets of London. I can't tell if I like New York better or London better. They're both really similar in my mind. The biggest difference is that there's no huge skyscrapers here, but as far as like the diversity on the streets and the vibe of the different neighborhoods, it's pretty comparable to New York City. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Which one's better, London or New York? I'm gonna say London. If we're gonna talk about food, it's New York. But if we're gonna talk about culture and just cooler things to do, I'm gonna go London. Look at this little charming side street that I found. Lovely. Before I take you guys into the next tiny flat of London, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Revolut. It is a global financial app that is trusted by over 60 million people around the world, including myself. Revolut is giving new users a $20 sign-up bonus right now. Let me tell you more about it. If you travel often, you know how frustrating it can be to deal with all those hidden fees, bad exchange rates, and complicated bank transfers. I just went to the bank here and it took forever and it was a nightmare. Revolut solves all that with one simple app and this debit card. The standard plan has no monthly fees, 0. You could spend money abroad with no sneaky fees, withdraw cash from in-network ATMs with no charges, and hold and exchange over 25 currencies at great rates, all directly from your phone. You can even send money fast to friends or family in 140 plus countries in their own local currency. That is key if you also travel the world. And here's something really cool. You don't need a social security number to sign up. Revolut makes it easy for non-US residents to get started and take control of their finances from anywhere in the world. That is what money freedom looks like. If you are an international student, a temporary worker, or just globally connected, this is the best app for you. If you scan this QR code or use the link down below, you can get a $20 bonus. It only takes a few minutes and you will be grateful that you did it. Thanks again to Revolut for supporting this video, and now let's go to the next tiny flat in London. Good to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. I'll show you my tiny home.
Yeah.
Come up, please.
I'm coming.
To come into my lovely home.
Bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos, yes.
This is cool, man.
Yeah.
This is the whole space?
This is the whole space. You see the bed is on top. This is my living sitting area where I have food, where I study, where I work sometimes.
Dude, this is my home.
Yeah.
Arizona's where I live.
Yeah.
You been there?
I've been to so many places in America.
This is the whole space right here. So like, does everyone have a space this small? Every flat here is this small?
No, I think this is one of the smallest places in London. Because this place used to be a caretaker cupboard, janitor's cupboard.
Do you pay much less rent than the other people here?
Yeah, I think so. But you know, the rent in London is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I pay around £1,400.
Pounds for this place?
For this place, yeah.
That's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
That's too much.
The location is High Park, where we're going for a run. Is my garden, so.
Can I do a little tour?
Yeah,
take off my shoes. You have a little sink area here. Is this a rice cooker?
It's kind of like a air fryer.
Air fryer.
Air fryer.
This is like your little hideout area.
Yeah, I'm working from home today, so this is where I work today. This is my sofa. So down here, I always put the winter clothes in here.
Wow, that's smart.
It's very smart.
You need winter clothes here.
Yeah, this place is very well designed, right? Oh, oops.
That's your mirror?
Yeah, I got this from China when I was there.
You can't even stand up.
Yeah, because, well, I'm not very tall either, but even I can't have to walk like this.
So is that stressful that you can't stand up?
No, it's okay. For me, it's fine. It's very quick to get into my bed. Yes, I need to climb the stairs Here I am in my lovely bed.
How many years have you been living here?
Nearly 5 years.
And you love it?
Yeah, I love the place.
Do you have any plan to leave, or are you going to stay here?
Well, at the moment, my landlord is a really good friend of mine. He's in the process of selling the flat, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, you might lose it.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Are you going to live in a bigger space?
I prefer location rather than space, but we will see what happens. I'm not too sure.
What's your job?
I do office work.
And how many years have you lived in London?
Nearly 17 years.
Oh, wow.
It's a great city.
Everybody I talk to is like, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. So tell me about the prices here.
Yeah, the prices here are insane.
Insane.
It's like a coffee is like £5, pizza is like £15. For me, I think accommodation is the most expensive thing in London, in the UK. So if you go further out, it will get cheaper, but it's crazy. You need to have a really good job if you want to have an easy life here. Because I have some friends, they have 2 or 3 jobs because they have to pay rent. You know, they share a flat.
You never thought about living in a different area to be cheaper?
I feel like this is my home, so I really like living in here. I prefer to spend more money living in a small place close to my garden, Hyde Park, than live further out and then have to commute. Let me show you the bathroom. Oh, there is not much space in here. In here I have some of my running shoes hanging here, and then this is the bathroom.
This is the whole bathroom?
Yeah. This is the whole bathroom, and then this is the shower, and that's it. The sink, the toilet sink.
The sink is quite small.
Yeah, very small. And I have a cupboard here.
This is yours?
Yeah, it's also mine.
It's in the hallway?
Yeah, in the hallway, yeah.
Wait, so nobody steals anything?
No, I always leave it open. So in here, there's some more running shoes.
We're actually in the middle of the hallway, and
yeah,
you've got extras. Did you put this here, or it was already
No,
here?
it was already there.
And your landlord just said, hey, you can take this as more storage?
Yeah, sure. I think every flat in this building has one of those.
It's just funny because like this is a staircase, and people,
yeah, it's here.
People live in the. I've never seen that before. Dude, it's so small in here, but like it's cozy. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not like stressed about it. Like it's fine.
Yeah, me too. It's super well organized. You can, if I disconnect my laptop from here, and then I put this here, I can do this, and then I have more space. So yeah, it's really cool.
And you just, when you watch TV, you just lay down here?
Yeah, I lay down here.
This is all your marathon stuff?
Yeah, I've run.
Dude, you're crazy.
I've run 22 marathons in 5 continents for WaterAid, which is an NGO that provides clean water and sanitation facilities for everyone, everywhere. I also raise funds. I have a website as well called runcaesarrun.com, and so far I've raised nearly $25,000.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's so inspiring, man.
Yes.
You do it all yourself.
Yeah, all by myself, yeah.
What is your motivation and your drive to like do good for society?
My dad suffered from cancer, and then he got cured. So, and then I said, oh, I wanted to do something to, to give back to the community. So then I started running, and then I ran 10 marathons to raise funds for cancer research.
Dude, you're like a really genuine person. It's crazy.
Well,
like I don't often meet people that are like really, like when they speak from the heart, you can feel it. You know what I mean?
I think my mom and dad made me like this. So, it's like,
you're very honest.
I get a lot of recognition. For example, I won an award a few years ago, signed by. Ooh, be careful with you.
I just came in here and I banged my head on the ceiling.
I won an award signed by King Charles. I don't do charity work or help people to get recognition. I mean, it's nice to get recognition, but I do it because I think is
the right thing to do.
Yeah, right thing. I think everyone should do at least something with their life to help people.
Do you have any final words of wisdom about life, about anything?
You just need to find your ikigai. You just need to find your purpose in life. So my purpose in life is helping people and supporting communities. So that's my advice for everyone.
Caesar's story is a reminder that in London, location matters more than size. But what makes a city truly great isn't just the neighborhoods, it's the diversity. Every corner of London feels like a different country. So my next stop takes me to a hood called Hackney, where I'm ready to experience a little slice of Bangladesh. I'm here with Amina, and we actually met in Bangladesh a few weeks ago, which is pretty cool. Hi, Amina.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Tell me about this area. This is called Hackney. What is Hackney? If you talk to anyone from London, what do they say about Hackney?
Whoa, I mean, it's always considered the most dangerous area.
Really?
I grew up here, so I've seen it all.
What makes this place so sketchy? Or dodgy, as you would say?
Well, it used to be. I would say it's a lot nicer now.
What kind of people live here?
Where we are right now, it's a little bit nice. If you look around, you can kind of see it's a little bit nice. So on one end of the street, you'll get really nice streets like this. And on the other end, it's a stark contrast.
Look at these Jews. Shalom. Dude, these crazy, these like Payas Hasidic Jews.
Do you see how it's changed?
Bizarre.
And it's the same road.
Like we've just taken one road up and we're just like in this really ultra-Orthodox community. We're rolling up to Amina's building in Lower Clapton, Hackney.
So basically, this is all former council estates. A private company came and bought it. So now we have lifts, which we didn't have before.
So if you live on the top, you have to walk stairs.
You would have to walk up, yeah.
So wait, this is actually really interesting. Like all of the buildings around here, they're just made from the same brick and they all look the same from the outside.
Yeah, they are.
So growing up in a community like this, like you must know all your neighbors.
Oh yeah. I always knew all of my neighbors here.
Do you have a lot of Bangladeshis in the community?
So here in particular, we don't have many Bangladeshi families. So it's really diverse here.
This is your childhood house?
Yeah, I grew up here.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? Like everything, the door's broken. That's how you know what you're coming into.
Up we go. When you walk out your front door, you just see like 100 rooms in another building.
Yeah,
Like that's it. This is home.
yeah. This is where I ran around, learned how to ride a bike. Everything was here. Welcome to my crib. Joking. So here's the kitchen. Okay, you can't have a dryer and a washing machine, so it's very difficult. Yeah, L shape. And then
It's starting to smell like curry. What's over here?
my mom is what is that? Dal. Yeah, that's lentils.
That smells good. This is the kitchen situation here. This smells incredible in here. Like everything looks really fresh. Oh my God. You must have had a lot of great meals in this kitchen.
I did. Yeah.
Is there like all the curry powders in here or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The first one I opened.
Stay away. Stay
Why?
away from there. You know what that is?
Her room?
It's my room. You cannot look at this because this is crazy. First of all, I have been traveling. I'm allowed to have this. Okay, get out.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Fatima.
Fatima. Lovely name. Wait, we're not leaving. Say again?
No. No. I hate you guys.
So this is a makeup.
Oh, you know what? This is actually a lovely thing. Maybe this is Amina. Somebody actually drew that.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
These are like new earrings that I bought from Bangladesh, and they're like gifts. So
For your family?
I've unpacked them, but I've not.
How many
put them
times have you
away.
been to Bangladesh?
At least 6 times.
You live in London, which is like polar opposite of Dhaka.
Complete opposite, honestly.
Do you feel like half of you belongs in Dhaka and half of you belongs in London?
I do have an identity crisis all the time. Like when I'm over there, I don't really feel like I belong there and they treat me very different. And over here, like there are some moments where I feel like I belong, but certain scenarios I feel like I don't really belong here.
Do you
either.
agree?
They just think I'm a foreigner.
Sorry.
People in Bangladesh can smell me. They can literally smell me and
Well-
they know that I just don't fit in.
Well, you look Bangladeshi, but when you talk and when you act, like what's the difference? Like if you're walking on the street, how would someone know you're not from there?
First of all, I think my eye colour is not very Bengali.
Is it green?
Yeah. And obviously,
Swear.
I act a bit snobbish, like, ooh, smelly.
And how do you feel about, like, which one do you prefer?
I have a loony sister.
Is there any reason you would prefer Dhaka over London? And for any category, food, culture, anything like that?
Yeah, the food is amazing over there.
And you speak Bengali
Yeah.
fluently?
My sister speaks even better than me. Like she can do 2 dialects really well.
হ্যাঁ তোমার বাংলাদেশ কেমন লাগছে?
খুব ভালো লাগছে।
খুব মিস করছো?
হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ?
অনেক।
But we also speak another dialect.
We can swap in
We
with
can-
another one.
From Sylhet?
Sylhet.
So, you know, it would be something like তোমার earrings যে সুন্দর, আমার ভালো লাগে।
তুমি দিছো এটা, আমি
আমি
দিলাইছি।
জানি।
That means she gave it to my daughter and I wore it.
Okay, so what else can you show me?
This is the living room. My mom's like, whoa.
She's tidying it up. Hi. Thank you for letting me in your house.
My mom is actually practicing her English. She's quite good. She can actually speak a lot better than she gives herself credit for.
Are you from Dhaka?
Yes.
Originally.
Yeah.
Originally.
It's my mum that's from Dhaka and my dad is from Sylhet.
Got it. It looks nice in here.
Yes, so actually these are like my dad's old books. We've kept them. That's me. I don't know why. Hold on, actually I got one even better. If you stay right here, I'll bring it for you. That's me standing right here.
Oh, in this spot?
Yeah, and if you see, this was our old front door.
That's cool.
This is in my living room. I don't know why I'm putting this face.
At one point, we actually had like two different families staying with us. Yeah.
So how many humans slept in this house at once?
Probably about a good 50.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But this is very Bangladeshi. We just make space. We're all, we.
And you all had one bathroom?
Absolutely, yes.
So what if two people needed to use it at the same time?
Then you're waiting.
Knock on the door and say,
You're waiting.
We would just knock on the doors and like, get out. The size of the home really doesn't matter in our culture. It's the size of the heart that really matters. We have really big heart.
That was lovely. Because it's so diverse here, and you said there's not a lot of Bangladeshis in this community, is it harder to get along with people? Is there kind of this like separational divide?
Not at all.
Are there cliques in this community?
No. Do you know when...
No and yes.
What do you mean?
No, there are no cliques. Because think about it.
Like all the juicing
when
out,
we
all the
grew
whatever.
up here, we got along with everyone. We knew all of our neighbors, right? You never really felt like the divide in terms of you're from here, you're from there. It was nothing like that. It was just, you're simply from Hackney. That's it.
Do you consider this a small house?
This is normal.
It's very normal.
For this
yeah.
neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yes, all of them are like this. They're quite identical.
This is British English versus American English. I have a canker sore. Do you know what that means?
Never heard of it. Sounds like kangaroo.
It's not Aussie English. A canker sore is usually called a mouth ulcer.
That's it! Oh, Ma, thank you.
Thank you. Donabad.
Yes, good. I was going to say
Shukriya. It's watermelon. Thank you.
Do you like watermelon?
You want some?
Yeah, it's cold.
So in Bengali, it's called tormuz.
Tormuz. It's really good. Thank you. Okay, I have some more words. Ready? Truck.
Truck is a truck.
Lorry. Lorry.
The word lorry is the name of a woman in my country. A sweater.
Jumper.
Pants.
Trousers.
Yeah, trousers.
Diaper.
Nappy.
So, thing is, you know all the words because you've seen movies. If you just said to me, what is a nappy? I wouldn't know what it is.
Really? Yeah.
Flashlight.
Torch.
You're fast.
Sorry.
No, you're like...
You said we're playing a game. I'm really competitive.
Vacation.
Holiday.
Eraser. On the opposite side of a pencil.
Oh, eraser. Rubber. Sorry.
Rubber.
I couldn't understand.
Try to say it like me. Rubber.
Rubber.
Mm-mm.
Rubber.
Try to say rubber in American English.
Rubber.
Rubber.
Rubber. I think all of us did that. We rolled the tongue.
Rubber. Just want to let you know the watermelon was very delicious.
More. Look, she started getting you more.
What is this one?
Mango.
I'll try the mango.
You see, we are hospitable people.
Yeah, I never said you weren't.
We continue to feed.
I feel like so cultured being here. This is great. I completely forgot I was in the United Kingdom for like the last hour. Except for your accent.
Yeah.
After visiting 4 of London's smallest homes, one thing is clear. This city pushes people to be creative if they want to live here on a tight budget. From tiny dumpsters to homemade boats to micro apartments, Londoners are reinventing what a home can look like. The question is, would you ever live this small just to be here?
Ever. Of course, he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
So, if Donald Trump knows about what Jeffrey Epstein was doing with the girls and still kept up a contact with him and still kept a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and maybe even met Jeffrey Epstein physically in 2019, then that throws a dagger in the story that made Trump look decent.
So here they are. 20,000 documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate have been released for all to see. and we've been through them. They feature Donald Trump, the former prince, Andrew, Peter Mandelson, and of course, Epstein's girlfriend and co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, along with many other people. Here's a deep dive into Epstein's world. Let's begin with Donald Trump. The emails relating to him span about a decade, up until just before Epstein's death in jail in 2019. It's important to stress that there are no emails from or to Donald Trump. They're all from Epstein to others. They give a remarkable new insight. Epstein claiming a closeness with Trump, who, remember, is on record as saying he disassociated himself with Epstein years earlier, in the early 2000s. Let's begin in 2011, 5 years before Trump was elected president for the first time. I want to show you this one, from Jeffrey Epstein to his girlfriend and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in April 2011. It was written not long after he'd been released from house arrest for having solicited prostitution from a minor, and he was trying to rebuild his reputation. Epstein says to Maxwell, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there." Now, Virginia is Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims and the woman in that now infamous photo with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. We'll come to him later because there are new emails between Andrew and Epstein. Now, Giuffre, who took her own life earlier this year, never accused Trump of any wrongdoing, but Epstein is alleging that Trump and she spent hours together at Epstein's house. The White House has hit back. Listen briefly to Trump's press secretary on this.
Miss Guthrie maintained, and God rest her soul, that she
no longer Prince.
maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her.
Now, as the years pass, the tone of the emails evolves. We get a glimpse into how the nature of the relationship, from Epstein's perspective, appears to have changed. How Epstein began to believe that he had a hold over Trump. These were the years leading up to Trump's election victory in 2016. Now, December 2015. This is just under a year before Trump won the 2016 election, and
he's in the goon cave again, the Trump goon cave.
Is gaining momentum as a candidate. On the 12th of December 2015, Epstein sent this email to a reporter from the New York Times. Subject line, Trump. Have them ask my houseman about Donald almost walking into the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. It's not clear when Epstein was alleging that incident had happened, but the email suggests two things. First, a hint at the close association and Trump historically at least, and second, that Epstein is seeking at this point to discredit Trump. In the same email exchange, Epstein says, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?" Now, as time passes, towards the cusp of Trump winning the White House in 2016, we get a new perspective.
He was texting a Dem rep while questioning Cohen. Yeah, I saw. Representative Stacey Plaskett was getting real-time advice from about what to ask Michael Cohen during a congressional hearing in 2019. Democrats should call on her to resign, says Peter Twinklage. It is one of the more insane moments in the Epstein saga, and it once again shows that there is a bipartisan bipartisan consensus on dealing with Jeffrey Epstein positively. Anyway, do you think Epstein was trying to discredit Trump in 2016 because he had closer ties with the Clintons? Sorry, I'm getting I'm getting spammed about what to do next out here. I apologize. Let's continue.
Writing about Trump while he was on the rise to the presidency. There are swathes of emails between Epstein and the writer Michael Wolff. They detail how Epstein was being advised how he could use his relationship with Trump to his own benefit. Look at this one from Michael Wolff to Epstein in December 2015. Subject, heads up. Wolff writes, says he hadn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or, if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. And then Michael Wolff again to Epstein in October 2016, just before the presidential election. He suggests Epstein could finish Trump. Subject line, now could be the time. Wolf writes, there is an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. Interested? Trump wins the election in November 2016. Look at this. Was Epstein in Trump Tower just days after? On the 13th of November 2016, a woman called Linda Stone asks Epstein, "You still in Paris?" Half an hour later, he replies, "Trump Tower." It's not clear who, if anyone, he was.
Yeah. The suspicion right now, the suspicion